Hello and welcome to Will Watches. This is Dark, Season 3, Episode 1. Can't believe we're here on the final season already. It's been great so far, and I'm sure this final season is going to be spectacular. And I'm excited to see how this show finishes off, how it caps everything off, how they tie everything together in the end. That's going to be really exciting. So this episode, I'm really excited because it seems like we're going to be exploring this alternate world that this alternate martyr has brought Jonas to. So I'm expecting, lots of exploration of that, seeing the alternate versions of characters and things. One thing I didn't mention in the last episode's discussion, even though it was a long discussion, was Charlotte and Elizabeth potentially maybe not swapping places, but have shuffled themselves in the timeline somewhere, because when we saw Helga and Jonas touch each other at the end of season 1, we also had them swapping places in the timeline. So I am expecting the same to have happened to Charlotte and Elizabeth, so I wonder where they are in the timeline now. Then also, when I edited the first episode of season 2, there's this character that Noah kills right at the start, young Noah, and after looking at him again, I kind of think that is Bartosz, and I had this question of when the kids time travel to, because the stranger has taken them somewhere, and my biggest theory was they'd gone either somewhere super far back or somewhere super far forward. So my big theory now is they've gone quite far back, before 1921, maybe 33 years before that, whatever that would be, and then they have gone there, and that is an older Bartosz we see, and we're actually seeing Bartosz's death there potentially, and from that point, that's where Sigmundus is created, because Magnus is there, the stranger / Adam is there in 33 years. When it gets to 1921, they're going to be that age to be in Sigmundus maybe, although maybe it's even another 33 years before that, so they've got 66 years to get to 1921, and that's when they're all Sigmundus-y, That seems logical there. And then in the discussion of last episode, I had this wild theory about the alternate world here and how Claudia won't have heterochromia. And it got me thinking a bit more about the heterochromia. And I just had this thought that, there's another character where we haven't seen both of their eyes. With Waller, I don't even know if heterochromia is something that is genetic and can be passed down, but is there a chance that Torben Waller is actually related to Claudia somehow, because he could have heterochromia and we don't know because we've never seen his other eye actually, That's just something little that probably means nothing, but just throw the idea out there, see what sticks, So before we jump into this, be sure to check out the Patreon page. Over there you can find next week's video right now. You can also find a full-length timer-based version of this. If you go onto Netflix yourself, you can sync up your own footage and watch along with me, and we are very far ahead on those. We are 7 weeks ahead on those at the moment, so by the time you are seeing this on YouTube, for the full-length versions, we should have finished the show by now, which is very exciting. So you can get all the way up to the end of the show if you like on the full-length versions on Patreon. So yeah, let's just jump right in. He cannot will what he wills, okay, yeah.
Wenn wir wüssten, wie die Dinge enden, würden wir trotzdem die gleichen...
Yeah, does the knowledge of the future change your actions? Yeah, okay.
Könnten wir überhaupt unserem Schicksal entkommen?
Who is this speaking?
Was tief in uns ist, zum gleichen Ende leiten. Wie eine unsichtbare Hand.
Adam had been that invisible hand for a while. Okay, there's a new character, but he's in the Sigmundus headquarters. Looks abandoned. Yeah, rummage through. Oh, really? Old and dusty, okay. And he's found a blueprint for a time machine and is taking it. Oh, they've all got the cleft lip. Is it him? All three stages all at once, all working together? working against Sigmundus, burning it down. He's got some hatred of Sigmundus. That's crazy, all three versions just being there in the same room. So brand new character that always makes you wonder who they are. He obviously knows a lot about time travel. He's got the plans there. Is this related to someone we know? Visually, I'm not getting anything at the moment. I think the older version of him looks a bit like Helga. Okay, focus on Marta there. And Jonas. Obviously, that might be Adam and Eve. The apple, okay, new opening as well. So much to go through. Snake, temptation. Some long hair, the oil. You know, I'm thinking of who this guy could be if they're related to anyone. Then they show Jonas and Marta. Seeing the Ouroboros again. A body being dragged with the St. Christopher. And the mirroring makes so much more sense now if there's like two worlds are mirrors of each other. Oh, wow. Super vibrant, that one. And the cave is blue. It's almost like icy. Deja-Vu. Okay. This isn't going to be like a retelling of episode 1 or something from this alternate world. There's the apocalypse happening right now. Okay.
Warte, das kann nicht sein. Ich verstehe.
Wir haben keine Zeit mehr.
Catching right up here. Oh, I'm gonna have to keep track of who's in what world as well, you know? Are we gonna cut between them going into the different world and then like the kids in their world now? Ooh, that was a cool effect. That turned to dust and then came back.
Heute ist der Tag, an dem alles angefangen hat. An dem wir uns zum ersten Mal begegnet sind.
Okay. So she already knows this is going to happen. Someone told her that.
Deine und meine Welt in diesem Knoten untrennbar miteinander verbunden sind.
Okay. So a knot between the worlds. And is that the knot that Adam has always been referring to? I assumed the knot was to do with the time travel.
Das verspreche ich.
Warte, wohin gehst du? Warum bin ich hier?
She just abandons him. Nice. 4th of November, that is when episode 1 takes place. That was Jonas's house as well, not Marta's. Is their world visually flipped as well? Because we had the flip of the subtitles there. But will I recognise locations and recognise them as flipped, I wonder?
Weg. Morgen.
Kein Wunder, dass du nachts nicht schlafen kannst.
Is this Jonas's house? But inverted?
Mikkel, Schluss jetzt.
Vielleicht war das ja gar kein Traum. Sondern das
Yeah, the circular table in the centre.
Haha, sehr witzig.
And we're seeing a Mikkel here as well.
Oh, diese verdammte...
Katerina slightly different. There's been some time travelling happening.
Die Schüssel.
The yellow coat.
Ist Magnus schon wach?
I didn't think their house would be big enough to have 3 kids like that.
Bist du?
Wollte nur sehen, ob du echt bist.
Magnus!
Oh, there's so much here. So much depth I could probably read into the dialogue as well. Oh, they're already together here. Is his hair darker here? Has he dyed it? He's got some tattoos he hasn't had before, I don't think. Rat on the wall. Will that no future thing come up again? His tattoo, a snake, and then an eye. Isn't that the snake around the poles? That's usually significant in like medicine and things like that. That actually is quite a big house, actually. Now we see the context of Francesca climbing down, yeah.
Nee, ich komme heute spät. Theaterprobe.
Und nicht vergessen, ihr seid ab morgen bei eurem Vater.
Ooh, already broken up in this one. Is it because of cheating? Is it, are Hannah and Ulrich together in this world?
Erster Schultag. Eine Riesenschlange beim Bäcker. Die Apokalypse naht.
A lot of talk about the apocalypse with these two.
Noch ein bisschen.
Ich bin spät dran.
Could there be like even more kids as well? Like if these two have had a kid or something, there's like another sibling involved. There we go. They're going to. Okay. Yeah, there could be more things. More siblings, more relations. Did Mads ever go missing? Is there like a whole new thing with an older Mads now? And is there going to be any way to visually distinguish between this world and the world we've known? I'm trying to figure out if everything is inverted as well, but it seemed like the layout of what was Jonas's house did seem different. God, I feel like rewatching episode 1 again just to see, you know, what all the differences are. We did see someone mysterious come out of a cave and we never found out who that was. You know, probably the stranger. There's 2 seats here now. So many little things. But like, assuming people can time travel as well as world jump, are there any moments where we saw a character in our world in seasons 1 and 2 that were actually from this alternate world, you know? And like, what if there's like 2 versions of Adam that are both working together? Like, imagine we saw that or something.
Hey.
Hey.
Hast du Kilian?
Okay, but longer hair on Bartosz. Killian. The twins from The Shining? Is that the play they're doing?
Martha.
Kilian.
Gibt's eigentlich was Neues von Erik?
He's new.
Ganz schön creepy, das Ganze.
Guten Morgen. Wir bitten heute früh alle Klassen in der ersten.
Is he ginger as well? He's not related to Eric. They just asked about Eric.
Hat uns immer eine Nachricht geschickt. Sagt, dass er es zu Hause nicht mehr aushält oder... Keine Ahnung. Diesmal nicht.
Okay, there we go. Eric has a brother here.
Mama wird sonst böse.
Then Bartosz jealous again.
Es wird wieder passieren.
Okay. There's all these slight visual differences, even in Peter's style there, but Helga's only got one eye here, but his ear's okay.
Es wird wieder passieren.
Er hat den ganzen Morgen nichts anderes gesagt.
So is that just that Ulrich attacked him differently back then?
Es wird wieder passieren.
Was ist los? Bin spät dran.
It's so weird seeing them with these slight differences. Sometimes you can't even place what's different, but they do look different.
Tick, tack, tick, tack.
And Jonas has to discover all of this world as well. Yeah, it's not your room anymore. Yeah, it definitely feels like the martyr of this world is filling in Jonas's role. And like, I was just thinking, is there even a Jonas in this world? We haven't seen him yet. Is Killian kind of filling some of that role as well?
Erik Obendorf wird seit dem 22. Oktober vermisst. Das sind jetzt fast 2 Wochen. Keine Spuren.
Like, if Mikkel never goes back, this is what happened.
Hat zu keinen weiteren Ermittlungsergebnissen geführt.
What? Okay. Waller missing an arm, not an eye.
Geh zum Tiedemann. Wöller, du kümmerst dich um den Abgleich der Reifenspuren. Ja. Jankowski spricht nochmal mit den Obendorfs.
Okay.
And in this one, Ulrich is actually head of the police, not Charlotte. Not cheating with someone else, is he? Okay. I do wonder how long Hannah and him have been together. Obviously, Mikkel is here. Mikkel is like around 12 or 13. So they could have been together any length of time, really, between, you know, a year and 13 years.
Und das ist dann ein schwarzes Loch. Und...
Kann ich dir helfen?
No one knows who he is.
Ist das sicher deine Klasse?
Yeah, he just doesn't exist here.
Und das hat eine enorme Anziehungskraft. Alles, was das Loch herumfliegt, wird...
So this other martyr could travel without the 33-year rule as well.
Wenn es einmal drin ist.
Right?
Weiß keiner, was dahinter ist. Vielleicht nichts. Vielleicht aber auch eine neue Welt.
Maybe a new world.
Erik wurde das letzte Mal auf dem Waldweg gesehen. Und anhand der Pläne können wir die Fahrzeuge der Mitarbeiter mit den gefundenen Reifenprofilen abgleichen.
We weren't seeing Alexander for a second there. I was wondering if it was someone else she was talking to, or someone else who ran it. He's got a bit of a beard here.
Wie geht es dir?
Es geht.
Oh, Regina already passed in this world? Holding up, that doesn't sound good.
Die Zugänge sind bereits vor Jahren versiegelt worden. Da kommt niemand rein.
I was just thinking, is all of this just filmed normally, then they've inverted it?
Erinnerung, dass alle Nachmittags-AGs nach 16 Uhr aufgrund der Elternversammlung...
Just Charlotte looked a little different there with like how she was raising her eyebrows. It didn't look quite right. Is that because it's all mirrored? Is that how they've done it instead of having to build a bunch of new sets? Obviously, they'd have to like repaint things here. They've got a green theme, not a yellow theme for this room. Oh, I really wonder how they've done this.
Was willst du hier?
Ich wollte zu dir.
Aha.
You can't just show up like that at school and expect to talk to the principal.
Ulrich und die Kinder, das zu ihm gehört. Und ich will, dass du weißt, dass ich dem nicht im Weg stehe.
Das ist aber sehr großzügig von dir.
Yeah, she's already got in the way.
Er wollte noch was vorbeibringen. Was denn vorbeibringen?
Ich weiß nicht.
Could it be with Charlotte? She has that similar hair. Like a bit shorter, but blonde. Yeah, still contemplating everything.
Du hast mir nicht gesagt, warum ich hier bin.
Kennen wir uns?
Yeah, she hasn't started her journey yet. Yeah. Will she name her kid Jonas as well? If this is her first kid?
Bitte?
Surely someone must be concerned about the scars around his neck and like how dirty he is, you know? Yeah, is it with Charlotte then?
Das hat sich halt früher aber ganz anders angehört.
He just has a history of it, you know?
Von da an wusste ich, dass sich nichts ändert. Dass alles bleibt. Das Spinnrad sich dreht.
The red thread again. Oh, she's like in a cave.
Man kann die Knoten nicht lösen. Aber schneiden kann man sie. Er hat unseren geschnitten.
Is that Adam already severing the knot?
Ich weiß, dass nichts vergeht. Dass alles bleibt.
Everything remains the same.
Schön.
Yeah.
Heute Abend 9 Uhr an der Brücke. Nicht vergessen.
Can you play it off a bit better this time?
Bitte hör mir zu. Vielleicht weißt du nicht, wer ich bin, aber heute ist der 4. November und Mikkel wird...
Mikkel...
Yeah, he just seems like this creepy stranger.
Ich weiß nicht, auf was für einem Trip du bist, aber jetzt verpiss dich endlich, okay?
He's got to find someone else to help, like Claudia, or I guess Adam wouldn't be here if there's no Jonas. This should be where Mads comes through, isn't it? So they've been meeting down here, okay. Oh, okay. I mean, if it's like genetic, hereditary, then yeah. It just so happens that this time she got it and not Elizabeth, or maybe Elizabeth did too. Does Elizabeth even exist? But it is weird because their parents are having an affair and they're together. Not like that hasn't happened before in this show anyway.
Mama?
And she can talk in this one. And that makes sense. All of that time ago I asked if the actor could talk or not. And she can, but it was a purposeful decision.
Tuck. Tick, tock.
Oh no, that was a different coin he had. He didn't have the St. Christopher coin. Oh, his dad's grave won't be here because he never existed. Never went back. Yeah. Go into the church. Shouldn't someone be here?
Suchst du was Bestimmtes?
Okay. Peter's changed jobs.
Nein, wir haben Daniel Kahnwald gestorben, 64.
Daniel exists. I was kind of expecting that to be Noah.
Damit es nicht passiert.
Was passiert?
Oh, so he's gonna stop Mikkel going back? Or maybe that's why he is here?
Ich habe das Gefühl, ich habe dich irgendwo schon mal gesehen.
Has he seen him before?
Wie ist dein Name?
Okay, is that how we're transitioning then? We transitioned before with it's like that ticking sound, and that kind of led up to the transition. Are we doing like a zoom effect here to transition? Then we've got this character.
Generalschlüssel für das Kernkraftwerk.
Soll es ein Scherz sein?
Sie haben ihn behalten.
So I'm a bit confused if this is our world or the other world. This is 87 of our world.
Wenn du nicht verschwindest, rufe ich die Polizei.
There's the apple again. This is the layout I recognize though, with the staircase being to the right. It's not inverted.
Was wollen Sie von mir?
Oh. The body language, even what they're wearing.
Ein ewig dauerndes Wunder des einen.
So yeah, they're like all acting as one instead of other characters like Jonas, where we have Jonas the stranger and Adam as almost like three different personalities.
Die Polizei war heute da. Du weißt, was du zu tun hast.
Yeah, we never actually got what the Obendorf's deal really was. And we still don't know how much Alexander knows. So much fog in this world too. I wouldn't have been surprised if they had maybe played some music backwards here. This iconic theme, it does feel a little different though.
Kilian?
Oh yeah, they said meet under the bridge. Oh, here he is again. Keeps scaring her off.
Ich will dir keine Angst machen.
You already are.
Nicht jetzt, wann anders.
Was soll das heißen?
It does seem whatever the deviation that split the two worlds perhaps happened quite a long time ago.
Ein Deja-Vu. Oder ein Fehler in der Matrix.
So is she actually recognizing any of this?
Die Babysitterin ist krank und er wollte nicht allein zu Hause bleiben, deswegen ist er mitgekommen.
Hau ab, du Freak!
But is someone here gonna go missing in his place then? But of course we know is someone leading Mikkel into the cave, so is someone gonna lead someone here into the cave? Maybe Killian, because he's someone we don't really know here, you know?
Charlotte? Ich fahr zur Versammlung. Wenn du magst, nimm ich dich schnell mit.
Not exactly hiding it from Waller. Oh, Mikkel not in then. No light on. Or did Mikkel never go in this world anyway, you know?
Was ist in der Höhle? Was ist das? Ach du Scheiße. Fuck, was ist hier los?
Yeah, and then they all run and split off. It looks like they're all together still. I've got 5 flashlights. This is where we usually see Mikael. Oh, who is that supposed to be? Is that herself? That kind of looked like herself, maybe a bit older. Here we go, another montage. Dead birds. Yeah, I'm wondering, with that kid, will they name the kid Jonas? Is that a name she's always had in mind? And then would it be Jonas Nielsen then? Because it's all... Okay. So he was just involved with hiding the barrels? Yeah, who exactly was that we saw there? Still on my Adam and Eve theory, I do think it might have been Eve who did the speech at the start of the episode as well. You know, we had that woman speaking. Was that who we were hearing? Yeah, and then Mikkel's here all safe. And as he, like, actually takes him, that would completely mess up this world though, wouldn't it? Okay, they're all going to the bunker. Mads isn't going to come through while they're in here, is he? Yeah. It's all so different. And she will know exactly who it is.
Ist er tot?
Ja, ich glaube schon.
Wer ist das?
It's so funny seeing like the possibilities of what could have been different from what we know.
Mats Nielsen.
I was wondering, you know, could he have like come through alive or something? Obviously they use that to get rid of the bodies, don't they?
Auf diesen Moment gewartet, dass du zurückkommst.
To come back? Is this her?
Ist diese Welt zu dem gleichen Schicksal verdammt wie deine?
So it's not fixed, yeah.
Alles wird auseinanderbrechen. In dieser Welt genauso.
She's not scarred in the same way Adam is, though.
Wegen dir.
Yes, even the same haircut.
Mir.
Because of both of them. Okay, Tan House. Tan House, like, factory? 88. 1888, you know? And experiments already happening in time travel here? This would be before Tannhaus is even born, so a relative of Tannhaus? So this is where they went, 1888. And this Jonas doesn't know.
Ich bin nicht Martha.
Not the same one, at least.
Was soll das bedeuten?
So much more to discover. What we know is only a drop.
Die eine Sache, die der Anfang für alles ist.
The origin of everything. So, is this origin they're looking for, is that the splinter? Like whatever the splinter is that caused these two worlds to splinter like that? I just saw it in the credits as well. There was a character called the Unknown. I'm guessing that is that character we saw. That's like all three of them at once, you know? Oh yeah, they've called her Eva. Okay, so there we have episode 1 of season 3 of Dark. Deja-Vu. You know, it pretty much does play out like episode 1, of course. A few differences, a few new things here, and we're seeing all the differences in this new world. There's probably too many to list off. I won't go through all of them, but, you know, a few key ones. Jonas never being born here because Mikkel never goes back. Jonas doesn't exist in this world. Then we have Killian, this new character who is actually Eric's brother in this version and is dating Marta. And then like Elizabeth and Francesca have swapped which one is death. And then we have Ulrich and Hannah together having a kid. You know, a lot of things are different here. And there's even like these small differences in just the styling of characters. That's something you don't usually think about, like wardrobe and makeup and things. But you notice it here because there's these like slight subtle differences that just make the character look different, that sometimes you can't even place why they look different. I'm like, why does Charlotte look different? I'm not really sure, but she does, you know. So great how they do that, how they can pull that off. The filmmaking, just all aspects of the filmmaking in this show, amazing. So we start off with this new character. The credits called him the Unknown, and he walks in, all 3 versions of him all kind of acting as one under one will, which is very interesting, you know. That does bring into question, you know, if all 3 versions are experiencing the same things all of the time together, like how much you know, he's experienced it 3 times by the time he's this old version. How much like decision making then is there? Is the old version, it seems like the middle age version is leading them. He seems like the main personality. He was like doing the dirty work with Bern there. Of course, the other one might be too young, the other one might be too old, but would like the older version be the one kind of pushing them in what direction, what kind of decisions to make, because he's already lived through everything, you know? I wonder how that dynamic works between the 3, but it all seems like they're all acting really in unison. They're all actually kind of robotic in a way, you know? But they're a cool character, and then, you know, new characters introduced, you gotta wonder, are they related to anyone we know? And then it shows him burning down Sigmundus, and then it shows directly a photo of Marta and Jonas. So is this their child? That could be. And then, you know, I was thinking on that, and then for there to be a child between them, we have 2 worlds here. I'm just going to call the World 1 the world we know, and World 2. World 2 doesn't have a Jonas, and World 1 now, Marta is dead. So the only way for there to be a child between a Marta and a Jonas is for it to be like a interworld relationship, and that child is born, you know, from people from 2 different worlds having a child. And, you know, we learn this episode about this interconnectivity, the knot that intertwines these 2 worlds. I was thinking, is that child potentially like a knot, or like a personification of this knot? Is that kind of what he is? Because he is the child of Marta from World 2 and Jonas from World 1. And then I do still have a lot of questions about what this means for like Adam of World 1, because now we have the stranger like experiencing this. Does Adam have new memories of experiencing that, or had he always known that? You know, he has always been about destroying the knot, and we never really knew what the knot actually was. Now we know the knot is this interconnection of the worlds, and not actually the kind of timelines being messed up. So he's actually trying to separate the 2 worlds. So he did actually know about the 2 worlds then. Yeah, so this character, the Unknown, I was actually thinking at first maybe I'll call him the Knot, but then we see he's actually named here. He is the Unknown. Of course, that is just going off if he is actually Marta and Jonas's kid, but that seems most likely. And just like from a filmmaking perspective, you know, we've had before where we have a cut between like the stranger and then Jonas. That happened in episode 2. It showed the stranger and then it showed Jonas. And here we have a cut from the Unknown to a photo of Marta to a photo of Jonas. That seems, from a filmmaking perspective, pretty much confirmation already that that is who this is. And then he was burning down Sigmundus's like room. It seemed kind of abandoned there. I wonder what timeline he was in there. We didn't actually have a date shown. It looked like it had been abandoned. But like, why is he burning that down? Does he hate Sigmundus for some reason? What would that be? Could he potentially have this very kind of self-inflicting, self-hatred that he hates his own existence because he is this child between two worlds and is burning down Sigmundus and like hates both of his parents? I don't know if you'd consider that like a taboo, having a child between worlds like that, or if there is some other consequence of that, or if it is just like personal to him because he has no like home world, that kind of thing. And like, what kind of upbringing must he have had? Because we've seen the youngest version of him at least looks, I don't know how old, like 12 or whatever, but what happened in like his early childhood? Were Marta and Jonas there for him as a child? What versions of Marta and Jonas actually birthed him as well? Would it be like the stranger age? I'd imagine that would be, but like, yeah, what is his story really? We're seeing like 3 parts of his story, so the only info we can be filled in on is like his early childhood, I guess, because I'm assuming past that point it's kind of all 3 acting in unison, and eventually like this youngest version will catch up to the middle-aged version and carry on, you know, that kind of thing. That also means really he only has like 33 years of life in a way, because he's repeating the same 33 years over and over, you know, 3 times till he lives to 99, or potentially a bit younger than that or older than that. That's interesting to think about, you know, how many, if he lives to 99, but does he only truly have 33 years of like agency, because he just is bound to repeat it, obviously, because all 3 are there at the same time. They might not always be together like that, you know. They might splinter off and do their own things for a bit, to have their own like side missions to do or something, whatever their cause is here. But that is interesting to think about as well. And, you know, the nature of free will and time travel showing up here again. So then in World 2, we have Eva. Not actually Eve, Eva. I don't know if that's just, you know, that was what it was in the credits. I don't know if that's just like a language thing, Germany, so it's Adam and Eva instead of Adam and Eve in their language or something. But she's Eva. And that does make me wonder, like, is there a version of Sigmundus in World 2 that she's head of? Or does it have a different name? Or is it not like a Sigmundus at all? What's going on there? And then it seems like Eva/Marta, her goal is to find the origin. As I said, that seems like that is finding where the splinter happens between the timelines, wherever it splits off into 2. If you find that point, you can... What would you do with that point, though? Because there's like one world where something happens and one where it doesn't. How can you destroy that origin? Because if you make a change there, it would really be that it splintered off into 3 then, or something. Or it would still splinter off into 2, but only one of them would change, or they'd both change, but there'd still be a splinter there. Does she want to destroy the origin or find the origin? It seems like she wants to destroy the origin so there's no splinter, because then that will destroy the knot, that severs the knot at where it's created. But how do you do that? Because if a splinter is like the decision between turning left and turning right, that's like 2 things that happen in parallel. I guess you stop them from going right, so they have to go left. So then there's only that one leftward world, I guess. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so I guess that is a way to control that origin, control that splinter. I'm kind of jumping all over the place here, but then we have the kids. So the Marta, the 2019 version of Marta from World 2, who doesn't know anything yet. They're all in the bunker and they meet Mads, which is crazy. So that makes me think, you know, is Claudia going to show up here? Because it was Peter and Trant in World 1 who did that. So will Claudia show up here and start to give everyone that lesson in time travel? They must know now that time travel exists because obviously Mads has come through. They've seen the card, they've seen the date. They obviously know the Mads backstory from their dad, Ulrich. So like, what does that mean? It is cool because it is almost like we are seeing a possibility of where the show could have gone. You know what I mean? That's really interesting. The infinite possibilities from episode 1 of where the story could have gone. And then the writers have chosen this path, but we're seeing like an alternate path they could have taken, you know? That must be really exciting from like a writing perspective when you're like writing this show, you know? And of course we are seeing similarities between the worlds as well. We are seeing like Bartosz still has the crush on Marta, although Killian is her boyfriend here. We're seeing like the focus on him holding hands. We're seeing like Bartosz focusing on them holding hands. He's jealous there, you know, he's the only single one on that group, the fifth wheel. So there's definitely like some similarities there. And we have like new characters here that don't exist in World 1 like Killian, but also characters that exist in World 1 that don't exist in World 2 like Jonas. So that throws a lot of things in the air, like could there be potential siblings we don't know about, kids we don't know about? Lots of interesting things there. I do wonder how in-depth they'll explore World 2, if it will be just a 2019 timeline we get, or will we see all 3, or even like the even more ones now, because in World 1 we've got 1888 as well now, which is pretty crazy. So that is where the stranger took them before, and now he is there in this like townhouse building, and that did make me think like, is he taking up the persona of Tannhaus? And the family name of Tannhaus is a bootstrap paradox that starts there with him and then eventually goes into HG Tannhaus, the Tannhaus that we know. But the Tannhaus name has always been associated with time travelers as well. Or is he just using a building that has the Tannhaus name on it? And, you know, we only saw the stranger there. We didn't see all of the other kids. I feel like that maybe throws my little Bartosz theory out the window there. Of course, they're building a time machine here by the looks of it. That's what the stranger is building there. A time machine that looks very much like Adam's time machine, of course. It makes sense. But yeah, they could time travel there as well, though. They might not be entirely stuck here, or at least they're trying to find a way out here. I guess that really depends as well. If here in 1888, had they run out of the CS-137, so they have enough fuel to time travel again, or are they just stuck here? I for some reason made this assumption that they're stuck here, but they might not be. But it seems like the case with the stranger building a time machine here, you know? So I think that's everything. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, consider leaving a like or a comment. And if you really loved it, be sure to subscribe so you can keep up to date on all the future uploads. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.